Welcome back to the Unleashing. I'm your host, Jared Beeler. Real quick, I wanted to make a video. I've been seeing, I haven't seen it for a while, but you guys will notice in the comments or other places, people are talking, there's still going to be some time before the rapture happens, and this is a very dangerous idea, especially with the signs and stuff are taking place. I've been looking for it ever since the Pope got in, and there's a very important reason for that, and I've discussed it many times. But there's a few different ideas, and I see it in the comment section. I hear people that are pushing different agendas that trying to persuade the idea that there's still time left. There might be a few years and things like that. And the parable of the 10 virgins and them being caught off guard really portrays this very nicely, that there's going to be people that are still pushing it back, and it's going to take place, and it's going to catch them off guard. And because they weren't in the right place, they're going to get left behind. And, there's a few of them here that I kind of scribbled down real fast that I see, and I'm gonna go over every single one of them real fast and make the point on why it's dangerous to look this way, and how we need to be paying attention, really close attention, especially right now. But let me go over these real fast and we'll discuss it. First time we're going to talk about is Psalm 83, okay? There's an idea, and I see it go through the comments and people's videos and stuff like that we still have Psalm 83. And there's a lot of pastors and such that will teach you that this is going to take place first before Gog and Magog, thereby giving us more time and signs. Well, Psalm 83 will take place, and there'll be a time of rest before Gog and Magog, so the rapture is not going to happen, okay? This is extremely dangerous. Just like calling Gog and Magog in the Bible and saying that it can't be Russia or Iran, all right? Because they're not called Russia and Iran in the Bible. It's kind of like the same concept. The idea that Psalm 83 hasn't happened yet because there isn't a war called Psalm 83, as stupid as that is literally the extent of some people's mental capabilities. When we look at the 6-Day War, which wasn't called the Psalm 83 War, there's an overlay that I've showed tons of different times with the ancient names, the same as you would call Gog and Magog, Magog being Persia, which is where Iran is now. Get the idea, kind of an idea, that when you look at the names and where they were and when they took place and stuff like that, these look like the same countries that happened during the 6-Day War. So to go without a shadow of a doubt believing that this has to take place first and there's still going to be some time before the rapture and the tribulation starts, it's a very dangerous idea. For a number of reasons. I'm going to say something real fast here, all right? The allies that are involved with Israel now, including Egypt and a few others that want to be involved with the peace treaty and things like that, they are in the Psalm 83 war, and we don't see that taking place right now. We see peace with them, and where we see the real conflict coming from is Iran, what looks like Russia, and possibly Turkey that's going to be taking place, which will fall into the Gog and Magog attack, okay? If these other ones were to somehow rise up or whatever, it might fulfill Psalm 83, but it's going to push back Gog and Magog, which we see taking place right now. Iran's not going to step off the boat with Russia and them. They've already known about the oil fight in 2013 and stuff in Israel, along with the other things that have got them by the mouth and pulling them down, okay? So this idea that it's going to happen, it's not going to be Psalm 83 war and then Gog and Magog war. Between this war, because of the amount of people that come after Israel in Psalm 83, basically the Middle East and its surrounding, all the surrounding people around it, this is going to be big enough damage that it's going to leave the conflict area calm for quite some time, all right? Do we have a lot of time? This is where you throw in the prophecy of the popes and the false prophet, okay? I've told you the age. In Revelation 19, he's thrown in the lake of fire alive. You got 7 years onto him because he makes it to the tribulation, okay? And you look at the pope that we have right now. I've told you there's a couple different prophecies that fulfill him perfect. So we look at that and see, is he fulfilling what the false prophet does, bringing the world religions together, creating Islam and everything else, right? Part of the New World Order. That's exactly what he's doing. So from what we know so far, he is the false prophet, all right? If you were to have a Psalm 83 war and then create a distance of time before the Gog and Magog war, because the enemies have to regroup and stuff like that. That's why it doesn't happen so fast, especially the surrounding ones, all right, that come against it. it's going to push this post-age up too far, and none of this is going to line up, okay? But if you put the Psalm 83 war, which some of your pastors, I believe J.D. Farage and a few others agree with what I'm talking about here, that it has already taken place, okay? At the 6-day war, which were the same ones that they were fighting when you look at their names from ancient times and the layover that they are now, that's exactly what we see happening. Putting the next war is Gog and Magog. When you calculate this in from that boy that went to heaven, Jeremy, said there was World War III, and John Finn, what God told him that Gog and Magog would be an aspect of World War III, this is exactly what it looks like it's about to take place right now. All right, and these things take place before some deal out of Europe gives Israel the ability to build their third temple, okay, which I believe will be the start of the tribulation. But if this goes for a few months, like I've talked about, it will be during the summertime, and this will line up because everything gets fulfilled. Daniel's prophecy and the length of time that it takes, 1,290 days, all right, would start the tribulation or this peace deal or covenant for them to build the temple. The way that I'm looking at it right now, September 23rd and 24th, all right, of this year, okay, and then that would line up with Passover when the Antichrist would go into the temple in 2023, leaving 1,290 days around that time to the Feast of Trumpets at the second coming, the return of Jesus, okay? So for this reason that Psalm 83 needs to take place first, or if you hear somebody talking about this, I'm going to have to disagree, and you've heard the reasons why. Right now, hopefully I've broken this down enough to make a complete understanding about it, that this is. All right, if there's another agenda, these people are purposely trying to put this in their mind to buy more time because they're doing something shady or that they feel guilty about. That's a totally other story, okay? But to genuinely look at and say that Psalm 83 has to happen first, I'd be very careful with this idea. It looks like it's already taken place, and the way that things are lined up right now for the next events to go down, which would be Gog and Magog, I don't see the Psalm 83 war taking place right now. It doesn't line up with it, okay? That's one that I wanted to go over. The next one is Damascus has to be destroyed first, okay? I see this in the comments too, and I see people talking about it. Well, nothing's going to happen until Damascus is destroyed first. It's the catalyst or whatever. We do not know that, okay? When Damascus gets destroyed in Isaiah and it speaks of it, it's totally going to happen. The Word of God isn't going to lie. But when does it take place, and does it have to take place by itself? I don't believe so at all. I believe this is going to be an aspect of World War III and the Gog and Magog attack. Could this start the Gog and Magog attack and the war? Yeah, sure, there's totally that possibility. But to say that it needs to take place first, we don't know that. The rapture could happen. World War III could start to kick off. Gog and Magog goes down. And during the aspect of Gog and Magog, because of the intensity of the enemies coming, Israel launches a nuke and takes out Damascus. This is totally a possible idea, okay? And you can see why. If you're looking at Damascus getting taken out first, and you want to live a life of sin or whatever without repentance or turning to God because you think you have more time as an excuse, this is another idea that I think is dangerous to believe in, and I'm shooting it down right now. Okay, it doesn't have to be destroyed first; it can take place after we go. All right, and it's totally a possibility. Any time within there, it'll get taken out, and it will get taken out. Another one, all right. 2028 is the second coming. Therefore, the start of the tribulation 7 years prior to that is 2021. So that makes the start of the tribulation 2021. The rapture is not going to happen until 2021. Okay, another dangerous idea. When anybody starts saying that they know the exact date of the years, this is not true. Okay, we don't know how long Adam was in the garden. Okay, and before the sin happened, and before maybe his age started getting counted. There's different things. There's ideas that were already past 6,000 year mark happened a few years ago. There's ideas in Israel timeline. Yeah, there's still 200 years to it. We go by the year 2000. That we're already in 19 years past this time. All right. So nobody really knows except for God. All right. And to say that it's even going to happen on that day, that might not be a guarantee too. Could it be? Will it most likely be? Yeah, I think so. I think God has it timed down so perfectly that he's going to make it to the seconds. But does it have to be? No, it doesn't. And to think that somebody is saying that they have the time, they know that it's exactly 2028 or whatever in 2021, and this marks 6,000 years. No, that's folly. All right, we don't know. We just don't. There's things that have been hidden in time. There's different secrets. God knows the time when it's going to be. And to take this line, kind of like when people talk about the different ages, like the Grace Age and stuff like that, do they exactly stop at that time? No, I don't think so. I think we can get a rough idea. We can say, well, this is during the time when there was law and stuff like that, and this is the age of grace. But to say that it's an exact line, or that's how it is, or it has to happen exactly on this time, I disagree with that, and there's a few reasons why, and I'm not going to go over those right now, but you can use it as a reference to talk about different times when God was bringing about plans and stuff like that, but to use it as an exact time, no, I don't really go along with that idea. Okay, here's another one. Trump. Somebody told me that God told him that Trump's going to get reelected, all right, in 2020, and for that reason, they don't believe the rapture is going to happen. Okay, this one I'm going to just throw out real fast. What makes you think that Trump's going to get raptured? Well, that's my question. Okay. Because I don't. I think the whole thing's been a sham the whole time, and ever since God told me in 2016, let the dead bury the dead, when I was praying for Trump to get in, the whole thing's been suspicious, okay? That's a big front. They're still talking about building the wall, collusion. Nobody's going after Hillary Clinton or anything like that. The whole Q thing, the whole thing's been a sham the whole time. I've told you guys before, Mark Taylor has absolutely no abilities, all right? This is my ability. It's my specialty. I am a master vetter, all right? I can look into Mark Taylor. He has absolutely no abilities. He's a man making stuff up, okay? And I've said it the whole time. The guy's a total phony, along with others. So them pushing this whole Trump thing and stick with the plan and all this other crap, it's a load of nonsense, okay? What makes you think the rapture's not going to happen because God says that Trump's going to get reelected in 2020, all right? He very well may be elected in 2020, all right, if there's even an America left, okay? But to say that the rapture's not going to happen because of that, that's assuming that Trump's going to be raptured in the first place, and I don't believe so. I think there's going to be thousands and millions of people that claim to be Christians and their mega churches and prosperity and stuff like that. They're going to be left behind, have nothing to do with God. They're backslidden. And they're the lukewarm Laodicean church, okay? And I absolutely believe this. I've seen it when I was showing the rapture and the vision that I experienced, all right? I didn't see very many people going up, and I've discussed this stuff many, many times. So more reason is I don't believe that it's far off, okay? Another thing, Jared Kushner is going to the Bilderberg 2019, okay? You guys know who they are. Back in 1954, wherever, when they started in Bilderberg, Germany, okay? They already had the 10-nation draw-up plan then, and they've moved the idea around a little bit, but they're totally part of the New World Order, and the system is going to work with the Antichrist, okay? You get invited to this thing, and it's part of the world's filth, all right? Do you think for a second that Trump doesn't know who Jared Kushner is? His son-in-law, all right? The building 666 on Fifth Avenue, all right? All the different things involved, their plan, the peace treaty, the videos I've seen where Trump's talking about the peace treaty in 1983, all right? The whole thing's been a scam the whole time, all right? And the whole Obama administration to make him the worst so that somebody would come in that Israel would trust to push the deal forward and them all working together, seems like the perfect diabolical scheme to me because it seems to be working, and that's exactly the direction that it's going, okay? I don't trust any of it, and either should you. What everybody's been told, those that are looking for the return of Jesus, including myself, when I was told in 2017 in August, he keeps saying soon, all right? He's not saying a long time off. He's saying it's right at the door. It's about to happen. So to have this idea that it's going to be a long time off, it's extremely dangerous. What if it does turn out to be a couple years? Well, then it does, okay? But if you are planning on it being a couple years and you want to get back involved with the world for a while before you clean up, that's when the danger comes in. We should always be looking up, and especially in this close hour, it's very dangerous, okay? I heard the other day that Raytheon, who makes all the missiles and stuff like that for jets and all kinds of stuff for war, they've been shipping out missiles absolutely non-stop on semis and stuff like that, and all the word behind closed doors is we're going to war, World War III. National Guards getting shipped out all over different places. All right, they've got them all over. We're spread all over the place, and this is exactly. I was not old enough to be in World War II, okay, but this is exactly what I would expect it to look like. This is all the precursors for World War III. All right, it's taking place. Do I think it's going to go another year? No, I don't. Not at the rate that it's going. I was looking for an event. I saw it die from 2014 every fall. It would talk big and then it would die down, calm down over the summer, it'd build back up, only to die down again. All right, I was waiting for that rollover event when all the talk and stuff wouldn't stop. It would go through the winter. And because of this, the buildup would be so high it would start the war in spring or summer. All right, this event happened in 2018. It kept rolling over. It didn't die off, and it's been continuing on. And now we look like we're about to go into war. Can it take this much heat and roll over for another year? I don't personally believe that it can. Okay, and I'm not trying to be biased in this because I want the rapture to come, and I do, of course. I'm being absolutely serious. This looks like it's going to take place, and anybody that's had any sort of vision or anything like that that's out there, they're gonna agree with me because that's exactly what they're being told, the same sort of thing, right? And I'm only looking at this as most realistic perspective as possible, okay? Because of the Pope prophecy, which is the false prophet, and tons of other stuff that I've thrown together, okay? And I don't throw stuff out unless it's false. I throw stuff out. But when it comes to the Bible or anything like that, no passages get thrown out, all right? And I've told you about the threads of deceit, okay? You guys do not have the things that I can do, all right? So I'm teaching you other different ways that you can do that, all right? Like the threads of deceit. You will see their consequences sometimes. And if, let's say, somebody comes along and they're saying, oh, it's post-tribulation rapture, there is a thread of deceit right there, okay? When Jesus said, in my Father's house there are many mansions, all right? I go to prepare a place for you so that you can be with me. At the end, the second coming, he comes back, all right? And we stay here for 1,000 years, only for God to come back at the end and create everything new, still us staying here. No time to go up to heaven. Is it post-tribulation rapture? No, clearly, right now, just because of that, it's impossible. What about mid-tribulation rapture, all right? Could it happen in the middle? After, what if we calculated it up? Over half the Earth's population is dead. Oh, people still giving in marriage and going about their daily business? I think not. But right now, at this time, there is. The mid-trib idea of rapture, it's out as well. All right? It takes place sometime in the beginning and before this takes off. And Jesus is keeping his word. He's keeping us from the hour of temptation that will come upon the whole world. All right? That day, the dreaded day, the week, the time, Jacob's trouble. All right? And he's true to that. So believe in him because he will, and trust in him. If he were to change his mind, that wouldn't matter to me. I mean, yeah, sure, we're going to die. But I'm with him thick and thin. I've already made that commitment. High, low, down, death, life, whatever it is. I'm committed to Jesus Christ. I always have been, okay? All right, and that's how everybody should be. Not under some circumstance. Well, only if it gets me out of here am I going to follow. No, you should never be like that. If you are, you're not worthy to be going in the first place, okay? So have a good heart for it, but he does keep his word, and he is coming back for us, all right? There's a number of different things, like I say, that look like this thing could kick off at any second. Anytime during this early summer into July for a phase, and I'm hoping for June, but even in July, if it starts to push back out a little bit, it's going to be hard for me to see it coming this year. But right now, the way that it looks, that's exactly how it's going. It's lining up with the kids' prophecies, the idea that what people have been told that it'll only last a couple months, and how they're going to need this to push this agenda, all right, for the one world order, how World War III, how you guys have heard me say that I believe that they're going to use this. When the dust settles, those are going to be the new lions, and they're going to be like, this is going to be a new 10-nation thing. We're all going to come together in peace, and there's not going to be any more war and stuff like that, all right? Only for more war and more stuff like that, because Christians that will be left behind are going to be calling stuff out. And of course, Christians are going to be the new enemy because they're a resistance to this new world order, this utopia idea, which is false, of course. So they're going to use that as an excuse to go after Christians and kill them and stuff like that. But we already know that's going to happen anyways, okay? You don't want to be left behind, okay? But the whole thing looks like it's about to take off. It looks like it's going to take off this year. I truly believe that it is. I've said that every year, but each year it looks more and more and more. Like I say, we're getting up to a wall. False prophet thing, he is, as far as I'm concerned, 100% the guy. He can't get too old because he makes it to the tribulation before he's tossed in the lake of fire alive at the end in Revelation 19, okay? Him and the Antichrist. So I expect this thing to take off sometime. So he's still going to be kicking during the tribulation, only to get tossed in the lake of fire alive, okay? There's a number of things that are picking up more and more and more. The war and everything else, like I say. So when somebody says that they think there's still going to be some time off, I encourage you to shun this idea because there is nothing in there that says that this has to go on much longer, all right? And the way that it's built up, it doesn't look like it's going to go on much longer at all. And this is just a real conversation, okay? Just straight to the point. I do not believe the Psalm 83 war still has to take place. I believe it did, okay? Is there any way that it could? No, it doesn't look like it, all right? So if it was to take place, the recovery time would have to be fast for them to bring in another huge, massive war, all right, biblically, the way that it's going to do for Gog and Magog to take place, all right? I've left a trail of tons of different conversations on why Gog and Magog isn't at the end, all right? The Gog and Magog war, 5/6 of the armies destroyed by God, 1/6 allowed to go back. The Gog and Magog war at the end of the tribulation, or at the end of the 1,000 years, they're all destroyed, and God sets up the 1,000-year reign. Just a real, or not 1,000-year reign, but the white throne judgment. That's just a real quick one right there, and there's multiple reasons. But I've done videos on all this stuff. I've been leaving a trail of information. So if anybody finds this stuff, you can go back through it and learn the different topics all along the way. All of this has been information and trail to lead, all right? And hopefully it's been helping you guys some. But be careful what you hear and what people are saying, and especially with the idea that there's still time off. Let me tell you what the real agenda is for time off. They're sinning, okay? It's that simple. And we're all adults here, and you know, most of the time it's because they're involved with somebody, all right? And they're not married or anything like that. And maybe they have plans that are going to get married in a few years, but right now it's an inconvenience for that to happen because they know that they'd be in the middle of sin because they're fornicating, okay? I think that's a lot of the time what the reason is, all right? That's why I've warned you guys. If somebody comes along right now and it's too good to be true, it's because it is. It's a trap, okay? Don't fall for it. And yet, people are falling for it all over the place. I see it all the time, okay? Be very careful in these times. It is so close. You know, I've given my different points on tons of different areas. And I mean, it's hard to argue with this stuff. It legitimately looks like time's up. All right? So, there's just a few counters I want to throw out there for people that think that there's still going to be some more time. Dangerous idea. It doesn't look like there is, and it looks like time's about up, all right? Hope this helps. And, you know, I'll catch you next time in the Elysian, or I'll see you in the air. God bless. Talk to you later. Bye.